Starting. Setting up next auth. That is the first thing. Setting up next auth means what we're gonna do with the next auth, right? So we're gonna install. Okay, so let's go to the like auth.js here. Get started. Click on the next JS. That is what we're gonna use. The first thing is here, right? Install next auth beta. Okay, this is what we have right now. Let's install that. This is the next auth v5. So we're gonna install next terminal, and I need to. I just have fix one project here. Oh, whatever. Okay. CD. Yeah. I'll just install here. Okay. And it's just taking some time, right? In my computer here to install anything now in this new computer, but I don't know. It takes time. Done. That is what we have done, right? Now it says add a secret key right in your env variable. Okay, env local, or basically we have .env, right? So let's do that. Copy this and just paste and run this code, right? So when you execute that command, it will give you the keyword, the variable name auth secret, and the secret key, right? Also copy that and place it inside your env. So we're gonna add here. Good. Done. The next thing it says create auth.ts file somewhere in the root directory, right? So let's do that. Auth.ts. So in our root directory here, I'm going to add auth.ts. That is file name. We have to get the code from here, right? Copy that. So we have installed the next auth. So you can import next auth now. Okay. Then export, right? You can export. Basically, when you execute, see what happened. This is the function next auth. You executing, right? Like this, If I remove, sorry, just look at here. This function you are executing, it says this function is saying missing parameter, right? You have to pass some parameter here. So when you execute this function, it will give you the object. It just give you object, right? It will give you object like this. Okay. That object has something inside, built inside. Okay. Maybe there is a handler. There is a lot of things, right? So that's why we destructure that object here. And everything we destructure, we exporting now to use somewhere else, right? That is what we have done here. So let me undo this, the code inside. Okay. So I have to copy again. Let's go back and copy this and place, right? So just remember the function execute and it will return us these things. Handler, sign in, sign out, auth, right? These are the few properties we get from the next auth function. Next auth function gonna take a couple of parameters now, like providers. So our provider will be Google, and many other you can add, right? Then there will be session, there will be like a strategy, there will be JWT tokens, and everything you add inside. Basically, inside this next auth, we define the whole structure of the login, logout, everything, right? This will take care of everything. We just have to write you can extend this code long way, right? A lot of things you can put inside. But for now, just remember, very simple. It will give you handler, sign in, sign out, and auth, right? So handler is the path, like a route where it will go, like get and post from the API, right? So that is what we have to create. Okay, this handler will take care of that part. So in the app API, now we need like auth. And after you're going to add catch all route, means API/auth slash anything, right? So that is catch all route. That is next auth. And now inside you're gonna write route dot ps. Okay, so we get code for this. That is what here. Let's copy this. So we import the handler from the auth. From the auth, we import the handler in our route. See that from auth you get handler, and that handler means this handler will either do the get or will do the post, right? Either you post the data or get the data. That is what gonna happen. It looks funny, but everything next care is taken care, right? But this is the things we have to follow. Just add the code and it will take care of the rest. And the next last one is middleware here. So let's add the middleware also. It will be useful. So you can go to the global somewhere like this and create the middleware file. And in the middleware, we just add this code, right? This code. Okay. Now there is a problem. Okay, with just doing this middleware, not gonna work. We have to look at look at some configuration, right? Because we are using Prisma and Prisma does not work normally like this. So what I figure out is go to the migrate, right? Like from old one to new version, and there is some, like some code given, right? So it says, okay, fine, you're gonna use whatever Google, something like that in your auth. Add this. This is okay, right? So we're gonna do that. So go back to the auth, and here I'm gonna call this, and I'm gonna pass here Google. Fine, that is okay. We see how we're gonna configure this right now. That's done. We're just gonna use Google for now, right? Next, it says route yes. So we have done that one, right? That is fine. So authenticate when it is authenticated, right? So you will see this was the older version, okay? Whatever you see in the V4, right, with the middle, that was the process how we used to get the session before. But now is get server session passing auth is replaced with just auth, right? Just call the auth and it's exactly you're gonna get the session in the server. Same thing in the middleware, you have this auth that will do the job, right? Use session hook. So in the client now, right, in the client side, if you have form or somewhere, you're clicking something and you need a session, if someone is logged in or not, you have to call the use session hook. What is this? This is a special function in React, and it uses the I think the some API, right? The React API. Okay, so that's why to use this one, we have to wrap our main component, and I'll show you later how we can do that, right? But rest everywhere you're going to use auth, right? In the server everywhere, in the API also you're going to use auth. Just call the auth, and you have the session available. So this is the one thing you have to understand, and we'll see that. Next is page. Okay, so let's not worry about here right now. Adapter, right? Because we're going to use the Prisma adapter. So it says this is the old one. Don't use that. Install this, right? The green one. So let's do that. So we're going to go back and install auth Prisma adapter, right? Install. Okay, done. Now the next thing is after that, right? Database migration. Basically, right now we don't have any model yet. We're gonna create that. We have to create, right? So check out the adapter page. We can just open this and check what is there. So we're gonna use which adapter we're gonna use Prisma, right? That is what we're gonna use. Okay, so it says auth. We have installed auth Prisma, right? So we need to install this also, Prisma client. I think we have already that also. Yeah, we have, right? No need to do that. No need to do that. It's just adapter we need. We have Prisma installed, initialize, everything is taken care. We have database done. Yeah. So now here, right, age compatibility. Okay, so how are we gonna fix that? Let's see. Right. I mean, first we're gonna add schema, right, for the Prisma. So here is the schema, correct? Let's copy this whole thing and go back to our where is the Prisma here, right? And add that. Just below this, I'm gonna add. So let's see, verification token. Let's leave it user. That's fine. Account, account, right? This is account. First one is account. Then there is session. There is a user and verification token. There was something else also. Let me check. Okay, let's go back here, right? So age compatibility. See what is age, right? Age is the runtime environment, same like Node.js, which does a lot of like network work, right? When you have the web running on the network, doing something related to networking, right? Like running some, basically running some database, something you can access in the network, right? Which is using not Node.js but Age. Age is the runtime, separate runtime, similar to Node. Okay, so in the Age, Prisma client does not work properly, right? But it says now if you have the Prisma client at I think higher than 12 point something. Let's see, there was somewhere the version, right? We need like some higher version. Okay, then only it's gonna work. So we have just installed latest, so it should be okay, right? Let me check quickly one time. If you go to the packages, and sorry guys, I have uh, let's go to the package. Yeah, 5.12, right? I believe this is the one. Prisma client, and okay, I think that is fine. This will be okay. Where is the Prisma adapter? Okay, Prisma adapter, right? That is 2.1. I think the client, as long as this is 5.2 and above, it should be fine. So let's see. But I know I saw somewhere, right? I did not make a note, but they give the version. Anyway, let's continue. So now it says, right, to make auth, this auth work with the age compatibility, you do something like this, like you separate some code, right, and put it in the auth config file. So let's create that. That is the all we have to do, right? And it should be okay. So go back here, somewhere here, just create the same file again and copy this code, right? Just copy that. So we are extracting some, like, see the providers, we now bring it to the auth, this one, right? This auth config, okay? So here, this is our Google. So let's change this to Google like that. Change this to Google. Okay, and we can switch this also. Fine. So see how this works. You import, we just import the next auth config, right? From next auth. It has some extra functionality, right? And then you export provider, just provider here, nothing else, just provider, and like satisfies next config. So next config basically, like whatever this provider will do, right, will match the coding or the blueprint inside this next config. This next config does like a type checking, okay? So this is just the extension of next config, right? So that satisfies this one, means there should not be any type error. That is the import type next config, right? Whatever the type here will be satisfies this, like extending this one, okay? Or basically, uh, check your type here, right, before you do something else. So that is all is this. What we're going to do now is we have We have done that, right? That is done. Now we just import now. See, we are exporting that export, this next config, next. Basically, we are exporting default. So you can name anything, right? Either you can create separate like variable or function and export it, or just export this default and you can name it anything. So this is how we can basically import, right? So we need a Prisma adapter, Prisma client, and all that. So let's copy this everything in our auth.ts. Go back to auth.ts and add there. So we don't need Google anymore, right? We don't need that. So just import all this. What we're gonna do is you don't need this anymore, and just run this auth config, right? So the provider is coming from auth config. That is all, we exported the provider and we just gonna add here, right? So anything provider auth config will give us, like any whatever, right? Any objects, whatever, a spread here. Because why we did this spread means it can have many things. So we added like this, it can have maybe handler, it can have whatever, right? Sign in, sign out, whatever. Okay. So for that reason, we just spread it, uh, auth config. Fine. We'll see. We'll see now. So you have handler, auth, everything is there, but you just spread. You add the, yeah, we just add strategy and all that, right? Basically, all these two things you can add now. So let's copy these two. Prisma, right? We don't have Prisma. Either you can Prisma client and run that. What I will do, we have the client, right? We have created the client before, like inside the Prisma, we have the client here. See that? So we will try to use this one. Okay, let's see how it will go. Normally, how you create client is new, basically Prisma, right? Let's call it Prisma equal to new Prisma client. Same thing, and it will do the job, but we have already set in the separate file, and it does little bit extra thing also, right? You are returning this, but it will check if there is something already created, the instance of the client, right? Like Prisma client is already in the memory, then use that one first before you create new one. Okay, because remember, next just keep running all the time, right? In behind the scene, it will keep refreshing things, it keep loading things, and you don't want to create this client, many client. Okay, you don't want, right? So that's why there is check and balance here. Okay, if they're in production, you just get the client from the whatever, create one client in the global, right? Use that one. But in development, it's keep running. Okay, it's a lot of refreshing, right? So that's why we have this thing. It will just avoid creating new clients instance when there is a page reload. So I will try to use this one. Let's hope it will work. Prisma client, I'm going to remove that. Import Prisma from Prisma client, and I'm going to delete this because there is a name conflict, and done, right? So that is what we're going to use. So adapter, Prisma adapter, and then you pass the Prisma, right? Done. Strategy will be JWT because we want a JSON web token, and then you add all the provider right here. So that is all we have to do. Still look at here, all this function, next auth function, and here you're going to do a lot of things. Okay, but for now we have the provider, we have JSON created for JWT, JSON web token in form of JSON web token, and the database, right? Handle the database also. So in the middleware, we have to do some configuration now again, right? Because the middleware, you don't middleware, because of the middleware, there is issue with the age compatibility, right? So it's saying now just configure the, with the age compatibility adapter, Like in your middleware file, import the configuration object from your first auth config TS file and use it to lazily initialize auth.js there, right? In effect, initialize auth.js separately with all of your common options, but without age incompatible adapter, something like that, whatever it, So let's copy that and change our middleware. See exactly what happened, right? You import that auth config from the auth config file. This from here, we just import that auth because this is exporting, right? Exporting this provider, okay? Just import that, and you can import without where is middleware. You can name it anything. This name is don't have to be this, right? You can name anything here. When you have default export, you can import with any name, but let's call it auth config. You have next auth from next auth here also, so just pass that config, right? The provider inside here and auth colon middleware. Just call this one, right? So the whatever auth we have, because remember this will give you auth, right? So auth is equal to middleware now. So that is all we have to do. And let's see, yeah, that is, I mean, we done, right? So the next thing is, so this is a setup, okay? So you have one file middleware, this code you need, put there, route, auth, next auth, and route, right? You're gonna put this code and auth config, you can just add here. Now all the provider will go here, okay? You have your GitHub letter, you're gonna put here GitHub, right? Credential you're gonna put here. So this is, it says just segregate, means just separate this part from your auth, and the problem should be, there should not be problem, right? Using that adapter. So let's see. Yeah, until now there is no error. The only thing now is getting the environment variable, right? Remember last time we went to the console, Google, and find the ID and the secret, right? So I have that already, okay? That you guys can get it from your, so I have here, I just got this today, and I will put here, okay? Fine. What else we gonna need? Let's try, right? See, okay, we get some error now. I don't know why I'm getting error now. Yeah, let's see. Adapter. I don't know why this give error, because I tested it was working, right? In other, so what I will do, I'm gonna do some quick fix here. Since this Prisma I'm not gonna import, right? Maybe that is the reason, okay? So what I will do, const Prisma equal to uh, Prisma client, right? What was that? Import Prisma client and then use that one. So inside the auth, just import Prisma client and new Prisma client. Okay, save, and there is error, but let's see what happens. So now let's go back to the online, right, and test if this is working or not. So we have localhost 3000 running somewhere here. So how, my sign in, sign out, everything I will get in the new, not new, but API/auth slash sign in, like that. If I click right, it should bring me here. Okay. So if I go back, I mean, just click like this, and this is the email because I'm the only testing, right? So this is the email I have used. Click on that, and there is an error. So what is the error? Uh, what is the error, guys? Okay, anyway, let me see if there is something already inside my application. Let me delete that, right? Go to the application here. Yeah. So let's delete all this, okay? Maybe because of that, clear, clear, right? Fine. And try again one time. Refresh or not that. Click on this. Uh, Next. Oh, I have to verify now, right? Let's use this phone number. Just give me a second, guys. I will just quickly. I don't know why it's logged me out. Oh, one, two, right? Not that. Next. Okay, so there is error. Let me do one thing, right? Let me. All right, guys. So what we have done, we just go and install this one, Prisma client and Prisma adapter again, and we change the, you know, we just added this schema, right? We just added a schema. So I know there is some issue with the schema because I see here copied of the top two part, which is already there, right? So let's change that. So on the top, you'll find this error, okay? Just delete that because it's already, we have right on the top. You can see this two is already there. So once you make changes to your schema, you must, do the git, not git, but npx prisma migrate, right? Migrate, yes. It asks me again the next name, right? So let's give the name, call it maybe update, right? Like that. Now, if you look at our package JSON, we should have that client, right? Our adapter is there, Prisma adapter. Next up, next. So let me do one time npm install also. Okay, and then run the server, npm run dev. Okay, so we are here. I will go back to the API auth sign in, right? API auth sign in should take me to the sign in button. Here, I try to click and I'm signed in now, right? I believe, yes. We can verify that by going to the, if you go, like your application and check the cookies, and you can see now, right? The session is created. So we are logged in, right? We are logged in. And if I just go back and here I say API or sign out, if I call that route, sign out, right? And you'll see this session will be deleted, okay? And then you see that here, but soon I click sign out, that session is gone, right? You're not going to see that long session text. So this is working, okay? Now the time, so let's look at quickly now, right? Setting up next up is done. Google provider is done. Adapter is done. Adding login and logout link, right? So let's do that part. So I think that's the reason, okay? I did not install that properly. You know, the article here, the adapter, right? This part, you know, I thought this client should work from before, but anyway, it's working. Now, right? Creating the login and logout button. So let's do that. Where are we going to create? Inside the nav bar, correct? In the nav bar here, right? Somewhere. So what I want to do is I want to display this somewhere in the corner, right? On the left side here. Same like this, right? Here we're going to display the round box or maybe the avatar, and there you're going to have name or email, something. You click on that, it will be, you know, like sign out button and all. So how are we going to do that? We're going to need the help of Redux UI. Redux UI, let's do that. So there is a drop down, right? Drop down component. So in the component drop down, there is avatar, and we're going to use drop down also. Okay, so drop down menu. This is what we're going to use. So it's just like, you know, like something like this you're going to see, right? So let's first, right? We're gonna. So this is a client, right? This is a client. The point is how you're gonna access now the next session, right? Session in the client side. Remember, I said before, use session hook. You know, the way you're gonna get session in the client is use session hook. That is what we have to do, right? So we call it import use session hook from next auth React. From there you're gonna get, right? This is inside the React built-in, okay? And then you execute that cons. So now you know you're gonna get data like this. Call it session. You're gonna have maybe what do you call that? Let's say status also, right? You're gonna get status. Status like this, right? Equal to use session hook, basically. Now the problem is if you're going to use this, right, there will be error. Let's go back and check. See that? It says, right, use session must be wrapped in a session provider. So what it's saying is the use session is using the context API of the React, right? What is context API? Like you're going to pass something from somewhere to the parent, from parent to the children, right? You're going to pass some information. So for that reason, you must wrap the parent inside this provider, session provider. So for that, we're gonna, basically in here, right, we just create one folder called leave, right? And then you can call it like session or wrapper, right? Like auth wrap or something like that. Okay. So I'll just get this code and put here, right? Let's try quickly. I hope I'm working on the right place, right? Yeah. So leave auth wrapper. This is the one, right? I'll just copy that. I just get this code from the online, but simple enough, to understand. What is doing, right? It says import session provider from the next.react React, and then wrap it, right? Wrap all the children inside that session provider, right? Just wrap and put the children here. That is all we have to do. Now there is a props because the children. What kind of data is children? This is a React node, right? What is a React node? anything you pass, any div, any like section, any component you're gonna send, right? That will be children. So that is the node of the React. Div is one node, right? Or any section or any HTML is a node. So this children is a React node props. Okay. So that is what that is how you gonna classify or define the type, right? Done. Once you have this ready, you just use that here. Because why we did not use this one, right? Directly, you can just wrap directly with the session provider, but the session provider is a client component. You cannot use this directly in the server. That's why you put it separate and go back here and wrap it. So, maybe somewhere here inside the theme. Uh, so what is that? Let's just import now, right? Import, I think auth wrapper, right? Auth wrapper, yeah. So this is a component because we just put everything inside that component, okay? This auth wrapper is a function and returning this now, right? So that means if you call this function, you have this available, okay? That is what we are trying to do. So layout, now we're going to wrap the children. So children is basically, there is a theme. I mean, you can wrap everything, right? Or just put in the body here, like this. Auth wrapper and done. Now we have available that session, right, in here to use. Okay, so let's check now, and the error should be gone. Okay, let's go back, and you see the error is gone now, right? And we're gonna access that session. Okay, the session you see now when you logged in. I mean, right now we're not logged in, right? But when you logged in, you're gonna get that JSON Web Token. It has some information like name, email, whatever ID, that information to access, right? We use session hook in the client side because this navbar is client, okay? In the server, we just call it directly, right? And it will work. Now we have this status. So inside here, right, in the nav, let's say we have flex, item center. This is the one part, right? Okay, so let's do one thing. Okay, let's keep this one place, and maybe we're gonna have another nav, right, like this. And here we're gonna say if status, right? If status equal to uh, authenticated, right? Why I'm not getting status? So I'm sure let's see. Status is here, right? Yeah, it's okay. Status, yeah, is equal to, now I will get three things: loading, authenticated, and not authenticated. So if I'm authenticated, right? If that is true, then just load maybe link like this, right? Link tag, and that's ref. So authenticated means I'm logged in already, right? That means I'll just go to the API slash, I need to log out now, right? API slash auth slash sign sign out, right? Sign out. That is what I'm gonna call, okay? Remember we did that in the route on the browser, right? In the address you put 3000 localhost 3000 slash API auth sign out, and it will bring the button sign out, right? Sign, same thing, sign out. Okay, done. So, but if not authenticated, right? What we're gonna do if uh, on unauthenticated, right? Then you need to go to the in, sign in, right? And let's call it sign in, sign in button. So let's see how it works now. So here is sign in, right? Because we have not logged in, okay? Let's put this in the right side by going to the header here. I'm going to add flex item center and justify between, right? Between. And it should be somewhere here. Look at that, right? So if you click sign in, I'm here now and I'm logged in. See, I have sign out button now, right? Because I'm authenticated, so I have sign out. Good. Yeah. So that is all we have to do, this part, right? But let's do one thing. What I'm planning to do now, right? Gonna use, let's see here, change the nav bar. That is what we are doing, right? Drop down menu. Let's add the drop down menu, okay? But before that, we must see our code is getting too much clogged now, right? A lot of code here in same place. We can separate that in the function, not too much, but we can do that, right? In the function also. Like let's say this code, uh, this whole thing you can add in one function, right? Like adding the what you can call, right? Basically adding the displaying navbar, right? Displaying navbar. You can put one place. So let's add here, okay? Somewhere here. Even you can create in separate file, or you can just put here, right? Cons, like let's call it nav link, like that, right? Equal to callback function. I'm just creating a new component, okay? And my component, that component will take care this part. All right. So I'm going to copy that and put it here. So I need to return, right? Component will return the any HTML. Fine. Now I'm missing the links. So I'm just going to get from here. Just try to clean this up, right? Let's do that. And this is separate one variable, just put there. Maybe I'm missing the current path also. So I'll just copy this and put here, right? Put that here. So this is working now, right? I'm just gonna call nav link inside this place, like nav link, like that. Done. I mean, we can add the other part here, right? If you don't want to put in separate file like this, we can just add here. I think that should be fine. So let's try. What we're gonna do is we need a drop down now, right? So let's import that. Import drop down menu from Redux UI, okay? And let's see, because I have this in the separate, because I want to write some function also, I want to write some function, right? Okay, let's keep it separate so that it will be easy for me to write function. Not function, but like some condition, right? Const, this is what, menu, menu, right? Maybe auth menu, maybe. Let's call it auth menu, like that. So see, by doing this, what's gonna happen? I will return. I'm gonna return something, right, later. But now I have, I have this session. Let's call that session from here. I'm just gonna use that session there, right? Session here. Control Z. Oh God, I just Control Z, Control X. Okay. So what I will do now, right? I'll say if, let's say, status equal to loading, right? Then I'm gonna return. Let's return the skeleton. Okay, we have a skeleton. Remember that, like that, and give the width of maybe how much, 3 rem, right? Something like that. A small width. So remember that icon right on the top. If we are not logged in, you don't want to display, I mean, or if you are just loading, right, page, this skeleton will appear. Something like, I mean, right now you're not going to see, right? But this one, there is an error, but let's fix that first because we're still working. Next thing we're gonna check if status, right, is equal to uh, unauthenticated, right, unauthentication, then just return maybe that is login, right, login part. So we have here, we had some code right earlier. Oh, sorry, here on the top. So sign in, okay, that's the one we're gonna need. So just we just need like this part. We don't need this anymore, right? So return that. Fine. Then now we're gonna return what? Return drop down menu, right? When you are logged in, you want to see this drop down dot root, and then I hope drop down menu dot trigger, right? And then here you're gonna need avatar. So how I'm getting all this from here, right? So trigger means when you're gonna click, you want to go somewhere. So what I want is avatar in the click place. So I'm just gonna copy this avatar. You just copy this. Or I believe I have already written the code in other side. Let's check from there. So in the navbar, you're gonna find something like this avatar, right? So there is some code written, and that is all you need to run avatar. Like source is from this session, right? Remember this session has image and all that. Okay, so for source you can call that image. If there is no image, then you call this a tag. The size of the like box will be 2, radius full means rounded, cursor pointer, so you can click, and no referrer, right, means remember this image will be not the browser will restrict. Okay, so the to allow the browser to display the image, refer policy, you have to put no refer, right? That is what we have to add. So I need to import avatar from here, drop down menu, and then avatar from the Redux UI. Done. So the next, let's see. Yeah, I mean, so that is all we have to do, right? For triggering. Okay, so let's see if we have this something on the browser now. Where is that browser? Okay, I don't see anything. I don't know why. So we have avatar. Let's add some, like some of the code again. Drop down menu dot content, right? And then you're gonna have drop down menu dot, I believe, item or something. Here the trigger, the content and item and all that, right? So let me just take that out. All this content. And I'll explain. So I'm just taking this content part, remove that. So in the item, right, the first one is email. That is my first item. Then I have the sign out button also. I just call the link in sign on. Look at here, API auth sign out, right? That is what we saw on the browser before. When you type API auth sign out, localhost 3000 slash API auth sign out, and you will, when you click that, you will be reach out to the sign out button. Good enough. So there is some error, right? What is the error? Okay, yeah. So I need to remove this now. Okay, I don't need this part here. I don't need this. Okay, what I will do is I'm gonna call that. So auth menu is there already. I'm gonna call. Oh yeah, I have to call this now, right? So let's call that. Let's call that uh, menu. Okay. So just make it clean, right? Look at here. This navbar component is only displaying, you know, basically running this link and this these two component, right? They all both are separate now. So save. That's the reason we did not saw earlier, right? Look at here. And because I'm logged in, this is the email ID, this is the sign out, right? And this is the like combination of drop down menu from Redux UI. We can look at here, right? This is the code for what we saw earlier. This thing, okay? Drop down menu root component, then trigger is the click. There is a button inside that and in option. So this is, see the click trigger option here. Then all this is the content, right? Which is inside the content. There is also separator, like line, what you see here, these are the separators. So you can design like this, right? There is an icon and all that. So we have basically added this in our part. Now if I log out, sign out, right? I will reach here, sign out. So now I just got this sign in button. Click that and I will be logged in, right? Automatically. Nice. Okay. So, yeah, so I think, let's see what is the next part, right? We almost, I believe, done. Adding drop down menu, we have done that. Troubleshooting avatar if not loading. So in my email, there is no image, right? That's why you don't see image. So you just see like my name, something like that, okay? We did some refactoring code also. We added the loading skeleton also, right? Yeah, so that's fine. The only thing now, this, to make this, you can add some class name and some, like text, uh, something similar to this, right? Gray 500, something like that. So text gray 500, so that it's similar to the other one, right? Here also. So if I'm sign out, you're gonna see that gray text. Oh, what happened? Yeah, it was not good, right? That gray text is not good enough. Let's make it a little darker, okay? Around 800. Fine. Okay, guys, so we're done. I see I missed out the commit, right? All the commits. So I will control C, git add. So this will be, what is that? Next auth, right? Next auth and git push. So things work, right? I mean, I can show you now. Let's go to the npx Prisma Studio, right? Let's see. Because, when we logged in, data should be stored in the user. Look at here, right? The user, this is the email ID I'm using to log in. So there is a user already logged in, so everything is created, right? There is image link. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know why I did not showing the image. It should display my image, right? So might be I have to add something. Yeah, one more thing, what we can do, right? You guys can just do one more configuration that is inside the, I believe, Tailwind, not here, but where is the next config, right? This one. I will give you the code, okay? Remember, we added this refer policy right here. It should work, okay? It should work. If it does not work, then you add one more code that place, right? So that code will be next config. This is the code, okay? We have to add inside that next config file to here, right? That's extra measure. So again, same thing, header, any path, right? Like a root, like localhost 3000 slash or root path, right? Slash any path from there, okay? If there is an image, like you try to display the image in that path, right? please do not block. So we're just sending this key and value to the header, right? Header, okay? So I will show you now what is that means. Let's go back here, and if I logged in, let's log in, right? I don't know if I maybe I'm out of the, yeah, I'm not, sorry guys, I'm not anymore running the server, right? So refresh, go to the application. So in the element, I'm logged in now, but let's control network. Okay, in the network tab, and if I click this image, right, image here, and see refer policy, no refer, right? You must get this one. Okay, if you don't have this one, then the problem will be you will be not able to uh, access here, right? See what you see here, B. So maybe this image. Let's see if there is an image, right? Because I think I don't have the image here. Let me try to log in with my the other email, but I don't. It will not let me, right? Because I have added only one email there. See, it just use the same thing. But anyway, fine, guys. I think that should be good enough for now. If you have emails like this in your Google, right, Gmail, then you will be able to see the image here. Okay, so I will stop here. That's the lot.